Okay, so I'm here at an aquarium in Osaka, Japan, and I'm looking at one of my favorite animals in this aquarium, which is the shark. And they have multiple variations of the shark. The whale shark coming close by. They got hammerheads. It appears to be an albino shark down there. The black-tipped reef shark, and I always love sharks, how they glide through the water. They're amazing designs. So many cool things about sharks that I love. They're my favorite animal. And as I think about my favorite animal, I'm thinking about what we're looking at in our lesson today. It provides one of my favorite foreshadows of the gospel, of the good news of Jesus Christ, his death on the cross, his raising from the dead, and we'll get to that here in a moment. But a couple of things in the lesson we're looking at God's judgment on the rebellion of Israel in a couple of different ways. We see Korah and those with him, they rise up, they want to usurp leadership that God had not given to them, and they complain that God, or actually Moses, hadn't delivered Israel into the promised land. Ultimately, God hadn't in their minds, and they want to take over leadership in a certain way. And then they refused to submit to the leadership of Moses. And so they were judged. Long story short, you'll see the details later on. But basically, God told Moses, you take Korah and his people, put them over there. You and everybody else go over there. And then what happens? It says the ground opens up and swallows Korah and his family and those with him, those who rebelled against God and were trying to lead Israel astray. God was judging their rebellion. We also see another example later on in the book of Numbers about Israel's grumbling once again. And they're grumbling against God. They're complaining how they shouldn't have left Egypt, and it's a big offense to God. And so in this particular event we're looking at in our lesson today, because of their grumbling, God sent the fiery serpents into the camp, and they were biting the Israelites, and the Israelites were dying. And so the Israelites came to Moses, and they said, hey, Moses, we think we've messed up. And I'm sure Moses was thinking, you think? Could you stop grumbling? That'd be great, you know? And he's like, yeah, you have. And they said, well, pray to God for us, and Moses does. And God gives Moses some instructions. He tells Moses, take a pole and take a bronze serpent and put it on the pole. And then if someone in the camp is bitten by one of these snakes, if they will turn and look to the snake, the serpent on the pole, they will be saved and they will not die. And so that's what they do, and people are saved through this mechanism that God put in place. And the reason it's one of my favorite examples of the foreshadow of the cross is because you go to fast forward to John chapter 3 later on, when Jesus is talking to Nicodemus, and right before he gives the verse we all quote, John 3:16, before he does that, he tells Nicodemus that just as the serpent was lifted up in the wilderness on the pole, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that anyone who would look to him would be saved. And what we're seeing is a connection from that serpent lifted up on the pole back in the book of Numbers is a foreshadow of Jesus Christ, who would later on be lifted up on that pole for us on the cross to take our sin in our place, and then later rise again from the grave, defeating death. Put our faith in him, we can be saved. We see that in the book of Numbers, even while God is judging their sin and providing a way of salvation for them to deliver them from the pain of the serpent, it's also a pointing to his salvation ultimately in Christ. Because as we know, the entire Bible from beginning to end is all about Jesus. That's one of my favorite foreshadows of the good news of Jesus Christ, right there in the book of Numbers. So I hope that was exciting to you as it was to me, and you guys have a good day.